Millennials are using Chappel Roan to shame Gen Z work ethic again. She said, use Chappel Roan as a mirror because a lot of Gen Z aren't allowing their idols the work-life balance that they expect for themselves. And I resent the lumping together of Gen Z as one lazy, unmotivated swine. And I personally never tap out of work. Even if I'm having a mental breakdown, I still go to work. To be like, oh, millennials are the only ones that go to work and cry later. No, you're not. Tons of us go to work and cry before and after. So are you happy now? Congratulations. You guys aren't the only ones that work hard and cry. It's getting annoying because guess what? I work hard. I cry a lot. I also lay down with my dog. And you are not going to take one of those facets away from me using Chappel Roan. Stop. It's getting rude. You guys aren't the only ones that work hard. I know that feels good to say, like you got more scrapes on your elbow and maybe you cried at your desk a few more times. You don't get a medal. I don't like that she sort of said, you guys can't be mad at this because you're just like this. And it's like, when you're talking about other people's money, that's not the same thing as your own boundaries for yourself. And so to equate those, I think Chappel Roan's situation is a special case, but I think what millennials are sometimes jealous of with Gen Zs is our ability to be very specific and intentional with where our energy goes. And when we're on, we're on. When we're off. Meaning we have boundaries around what we're trying to do and we localize our energy in a specific way. And when somebody tries to delocalize that energy and take it somewhere else where we have not agreed to, that is beyond our boundaries, we say, does it have to be like that? Right? And I think to relate that to a Chappel Roan is just like, okay, you guys, go watch Industry. I don't know if it's the second season, where there's a newbie talking to Yasmin and Yasmin keeps being like, oh, it's kind of status quo that like you guys don't get lunch. And she's like, well, I don't really get why. I'm going to go talk to the manager and be like, I think we should get lunch. I think it perpetuates a weird thing that the younger people don't get lunch. And Yasmin's like, oh, you can do that? Oh. And I think that's sort of like displacement when you realize that there's a little bit more intentionality here's the thing though, it requires confrontation. And I think that is what's being misconstrued in this conversation about like millennial work ethic versus Gen Z work ethic. Lots of Gen Zs work very hard. They're just very specific about when they work hard and what they're working hard at. And if they don't see the point of what they're working hard at, they may not do it. But to generalize a whole generation as lazy when what you're seeing is sometimes Gen Z is willing to make a confrontation where maybe a millennial might want to keep an unwritten rule or a status quo. And that is what I'm talking about, directing your energy in intentional ways so that if you do have those moments that sometimes may be a little bit trickier because you have to be honest, you have to be a little bit confrontational, but in a way that is calm and whatever, and just stand up for your boundaries. And that could maybe give you a better boundary, a better work-life balance. This is a tangent. I just don't use Chappel Roan to shame us, please. They're like, look in the mirror. She said you can't lay in the sun and have work-life balance and also be successful. And I beg to differ. And I think that's a toxic mentality. I think you can be very specific about where you're building your life and where the energy ebbs and flows. And to be like, look, you guys, when you say you're going to be somewhere and a day before, you can't. Chappell Roan is a special situation, by the way. I don't even think they actually care about that. But it is a very different situation in general when people are purchasing. Like, now that's other people's money. So don't do that.